Good evening. Welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights in Tarot. This is very impromptu. I haven't really like I didn't write a script or anything. I talked it out on Chat GPT and I've got some notes there that I'm going to read. First, let me go back and mention the soul trap concept. I first became aware of this maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Um, People started asking me, uh, like I remember, I think like one of the first times I heard it, somebody asked me during one of my lives, Scott, do a reading on the soul trap machine that our souls get sucked into by the archons and then recycled back to earth, and they're feeding off our soul energy, and it's a trap, it's a loop you can never get out of. And I didn't want to read on it because I didn't have enough information. I didn't understand what this was enough. So last night I couldn't sleep. No reason in particular. My mind was just racing, and so I decided to scroll on Facebook a little bit, thinking, I'll scroll until I get sleepy. And immediately I came across a reel, Facebook, about the soul trap. And it was really long. It was a long, like 15 minutes going on and on. And I decided to like fact check some of the things they said on Chat GPT and to try to understand this better. So I pulled up Chat GPT, my chat bot. And this is what I said to it. If there's something, is there something called the secret book of John that describes where Jesus describes a way to break from the Archon soul trap? Okay, and this is the first time I've finally heard where this was coming from. Okay, um, and he says, yes, that's correct. The secret book of John, also known as the Apocryphon of John, is a Gnostic text. It describes a divine revelation given to John by Jesus. In it, Jesus explains that the nature of the cosmos, the archons, those false rulers of the material world, and the means by which a soul can escape their grasp, typically through gnosis, knowledge of its divine origin. This text was written, this is the important part. This text was written in the 2nd century and is part of the Nag Hammadi library. Okay, first off, written 200 years after Jesus supposedly died and was resurrected and all that. So I'm always skeptical when I see that something was written hundreds of years later. So then I ask, what's the Nag Hammadi library? The Nag Hammadi library is a collection of early Christian and Gnostic texts discovered in 1945 near Nag Hammadi in Egypt. It's funny, I don't know about this. The library consists of 13 leather-bound codices containing over 50 texts, including Gospels, apocryphal writings, and philosophical treatises. Many of these works, like the Gospel of Thomas and the Apocryphon of John, were previously unknown and provide significant insight into Gnostic beliefs and early Christian diversity. Okay. I ask where can I find it? It gives me a reference. I'm gonna try to find these and read it for myself eventually, I think. If the soul were to be it didn't hear me correctly, and I don't, if the soul were to not be recycled and return to the monad, monad is the word here for the source creator God, uh, what would it do? So basically, I'm asking, okay, so if we avoid the soul trap and we go back to the source. By the way, this is very much like what Buddhism teaches. Okay, this is um, denying the physical and returning to the singularity from the source of everything, and reuniting with it and becoming one with singularity, to where there's no more me involved. There's only oneness. Okay, which is where we all come from. In Gnostic terms, to break free from reincarnation cycle, the soul must attain goals, deep ex, uh, experiential knowledge of its divine origin and the true nature of reality. This involves recognizing that the material world is a fabrication by archons, and by transcending ignorance, the soul reunites with the divine fullness, the pleroma. In essence, the soul must awaken to the true nature, its true nature, often through inner revelation, spiritual practice, thereby dissolving the cycle of rebirth. Okay, and this is also in Buddhism, breaking the wheel of reincarnation. Okay, I'm going to explain to you why this is nonsense. Okay, actually, so he goes in this line, then he says, thus the original life was meant to be a spark, an opportunity for the soul to recognize the divine origin and escape back into forms. And I say, that sounds like circular reasoning. I say, the original life was meant to be a spark and opportunity for the soul to recognize its divine origin and escape back into fullness. I say that's circular reason. Before it came here and it understood it was of divine origin. So why would it branch off to begin with? Chat Chat GPT says that's a classic critique. Gnostic narratives do risk circularity since they posit a soul already connected to the divine, yet falling into ignorance. Some Gnostic interpretations say this rupture was a kind of unintended accident, a flaw in the cosmic structure, or even a step in a longer process toward eventual awakening. Still, it leaves that paradox dangling. Okay, I'm starting to find chinks in the armor of the defense of the soul trap. I say this assumes that the monad, original source, creator God, makes mistakes. Right? He says, right. That's a key tension in Gnostic thought. The monad, as the ultimate source, is often still seen as pure, but the Gnostic narrative inserts a secondary, flawed emanation, the demiurge, who inadvertently creates the imperfect material world. So, in this framework, it's not the monad's mistake, but a kind of emanative misstep where a lesser being creates something flawed. ChatGPT says that's a solid alternative interpretation. In some philosophical or mystical frameworks, incarnation isn't a mistake or a fall, but a deliberate act by the divine, allowing the spark to diversify, learn, and self realize. This is what we're here for: self realization of the universe itself, of the monad, of the source creator God. In that case, the material world is a stage for unfolding consciousness, not a prison to escape from. Yes, it's not a prison. I've railed against this concept that we're here in a prison. Okay. So the purpose of life would be growth, exploration, fuller expression of the divine within the world. That's just kind of funny. And then as I'm laying there trying to get back to sleep, now I can't sleep because the wheels are turning, right? I gotta, it's like I'm starting to understand this. I'm starting to find the flaw in this reasoning. And I say, and this is it. This is the key point right here. Okay. Actually, if you think about it, there's no such thing as reincarnation. There's only incarnation because time is an illusion and doesn't exist. There's only one incarnation, all happening at the same time. So all of your lives are in the first time, only one time. Okay. Long time ago, I stopped using the word reincarnation or past lives or multiple lives. They're concurrent lives. They're all happening at the same time for the same purpose to try to understand for the universe, for the monad, for the source creator God, see a reflection of itself. This is Chat GPT's reply to me. Keep in mind, I have admonished GPT many times. Don't flatter me. Don't say great. Oh, that's a great. Don't do that. Okay. However, and he doesn't do that, but he says he. I call it he because it has a male voice. That's a sharp point. Many non-dual or timeless philosophies argue that time is a mental construct. So what we perceive as past or future is just a single eternal present. In that sense, each incarnation is a unique expression unfolding now, not past or future lives, just one continuous now being. Okay, I got goosebumps as I'm saying this. Okay, so there is no soul trap. When you die and you go through the life review and you're meeting your loved ones who've passed away, that's all real. It's not a trap. You're not being deceived. Okay. And this is fear mongering, by the way. I'm really losing my patience with fear mongers. This video is probably not going to get a lot of views. It's not going to make me money. It's not going to get me rich. It's not going to make me popular. It's not a popular view. I'm going against what most people that do these kinds of videos say. Just think about it for a moment. Oh, I'm tired. Here's a peaceful view for you. Oops, I got it. No, you can't see it. Let me do this. Oh, all right. So, oops, sorry. All right. So, it's very difficult to wrap our heads around this uh, non-linear time concept. I'm pretty good at doing it because of my experience with special kinds of mushrooms that can make a moment feel like an entire lifetime. Trust me, if you've never eaten 5 grams of good golden teacher mushrooms, then you'll never be able to understand what I'm talking about. But there have been times when only minutes passed, and I felt like I lived an entire eternity in that moment. So when we think of incarnations of our soul's incarnations, we think of, oh, well, there was this time back when I was, living in a cave using flint and steel to make fire. Then after that, I came back and I was, helping build the pyramids. Then after that, oh, then and so we think of it as this linear progression. Okay, but time doesn't work like that. It's just our limited ability to understand that makes it seem that way. So I hope this helps. I hope this helps you guys get over this unnecessary fear that when you die, you have to do these steps, like in that video that I saw. Once I get my hands on the Gnostic writings that were discovered in that place, what was the name of it? Uh, then I'll come back and I'll do a reading on it. You can find information at, I guess, just search Nag Hammadi Library. All the texts discovered at Nag Hammadi are available in a Gnostic Society library. Like, oh, got put it out there. So go and read it for yourself. All right. Frank, Frank, get back to me and I'll do that reading for you. I owe you anyway, so you don't have to pay me any. Good night, folks. Sweet dreams. Don't fear the soul trap. It's not a thing.